My guards are chasing you, but you don't understand. I never meant for them to catch you before I did. You run like you still believe distance can save you from me, like the world outside my palace has a place where my reach won't follow. You think the streets, the crowds, the night itself can hide you, but every shadow you step into belongs to me. I watch you even in the places where you swear you're unseen. You don't know how loud your fear is, how easy it is for me to read it, track it, follow it. You keep running as if I didn't choose you the moment my eyes found you. And choices like mine don't fade, don't break, don't loosen just because you panic. You call it escape. I call it a small delay. Because no matter where you go, I know the sound of your footsteps now. I know the hesitation in your breath. I know the weakness in your resolve. You carry pieces of me with you, even when you pretend you're free from me. I sent my guards after you only because I wanted to see how far you'd go before you realize something very simple. I don't need them to bring you back. You're already mine. You were mine even when you walked out of the palace with trembling hands, convincing yourself that the door behind you was a victory. You mistake distance for safety. You mistake stubbornness for strength. But I can feel you, your fear, your heartbeat, your confusion, like it's tied to my own pulse. I speak these words to you even though you're not here, because I know you'll hear them in your mind the way you always do. You hear me when you try to sleep. You hear me when you pray your name stays hidden. You hear me when you look over your shoulder and hope it's not one of my men. And you hear me most when the world grows quiet, because that's when you realize I'm the only voice that doesn't leave you. My guards chase you, yes, but understand this clearly. I'm the one you're running from. And I'm the one you'll end up with, because no matter how far you go, you move in a circle that always leads back to me. You think the night protects you, but it only makes you easier for me to feel. Every breath you steal from the darkness reaches me like a whisper you didn't mean to send. I don't need to see you to know the exact moment your fear tightens in your chest. I don't need to stand beside you to know where you're turning, where you're hiding, where you're breaking. You've never understood that distance is useless between us. I don't follow your path, I follow you. You left like someone who believed they still had choices, as if the world would open its arms for you once you slipped out of the palace gates. But the world bends for me, not for you. Every guard who steps onto the street listens to my voice. Every eye that scans the crowds looks for my command. The city may not bow at your feet, but it always kneels to me, which means it will always lead me back to you. You think you're running away from a prince? You're not. You're running from someone who has already memorized the rhythm of your footsteps, the tremble in your stubbornness, the exact speed of your heartbeat when you lie to yourself. Tell me, how do you escape someone who knows you better than you admit to knowing yourself? Even the places you go to hide already smell like your doubt, and doubt always betrays you. I wonder if you tell yourself that this is freedom. I wonder if you can convince your shaking hands that this is victory. Because I feel the truth. You don't run because you want distance. You run because you're terrified of what happens if you stop. You're terrified of what my presence does to your lungs, your pulse, your thoughts. And fear is honest. Fear doesn't lie. Fear leads you straight back to me. You don't have to be in front of me for your name to sit heavy on my tongue. I speak to you as if you're here because you feel me even when I'm miles away. Don't pretend you don't. You hear my voice in the places you want silence. You feel my pull when you swear you're free. You remember my touch when no one else dares to come close. I don't need to stand beside you to own the space around your heart. You can run until your legs burn, until your lungs big, until your hope shatters against the ground. But you know how this ends. You can move across cities, across crowds, across every fragile boundary you think protects you, and still you'll find that every road curves in my direction. Every escape becomes a circle. Every circle leads back to one place. Me. You're not lost. You're not hidden. You're not gone. You're just moving through the world that belongs to me, carrying the fear that belongs to you, returning to the faith that belongs to us. And when you finally stop running, you already know who you'll find standing there waiting, as if you never left at all. You think silence protects you, but all it does is amplify your presence to me. Even when you don't speak, I can hear the weight of every thought you try to bury. You breathe like someone who's afraid their own heartbeat will give them away, but you forget. I've already memorized the sound of it. You can hide from the world, but you can't hide from the marks you've left on me. You walk faster now, don't you? Looking over your shoulder, convincing yourself it's just caution. It isn't. It's the truth pressing against your spine. The truth that I'm never far. You feel me in the air you try to inhale, and the ground you try to trust. The city doesn't protect you. It warns you. Every narrow street, every turning corner, every flickering light whispers the same thing: he's close. You keep pretending this is distance, but that there's nothing more than a thin line you drew, hoping I wouldn't cross it. As if a line ever stopped me. As if anything ever could. You think your fear is a shield, but fear is a signal. And you've been sending it to me non-stop, louder with each trembling step. I follow it because it belongs to me. Because you do. You believe that if you keep walking, if you just keep putting space between us, something inside you will finally calm down. But you and I both know that isn't how this works. Your mind is with me even when your feet are somewhere else. You feel my presence in the emptiness beside you, in the shadows that stretch a little too long, in the silence that suddenly feels like it's listening. You left because you thought losing me meant gaining yourself. But all you lost was the lie you wrapped around your heart, and now you're out there trying to understand why every street feels familiar, why every direction feels wrong, why the world doesn't feel like it used to. It's because you stepped away from the only place your chaos made sense. Me. You can run from danger, but you can't run from the one person who sees you clearly. You can run from the palace, but not from the hold I have on your breath, on your doubts, on the secret parts of you that you hoped no one would ever understand. I understand too much. That's why you fear me. That's why you can't let go of me, even now. And you will keep moving, keep trembling, keep pretending until the moment you finally break. And when you do, it won't be the guards who find you. It won't be the city that betrays you. It will be me, standing at the end of the path you carved with your fear, waiting for you like I always knew you'd return. You think disappearing into the crowd makes you untouchable, but even in a sea of strangers, you stand out like a pulse I can't ignore. You walk like someone trying to blend in, but your fear betrays you. It sharpens your steps, tightens your shoulders, makes your presence louder than anyone else around you. I don't need to see your face to know you're there. I feel you like a shift in the air, like a storm approaching, like something that belongs to me, slipping further than I prefer. You keep telling yourself that every street you take is a choice, but you know it isn't. You're not choosing direction, you're choosing delay. Every turn you make is a negotiation with yourself, a desperate attempt to outrun a bond you never asked for. But bonds don't break just because you want them to, especially not mine, especially not when you're the only one who's ever made my control feel like something I had to fight for. You think you're alone out there, but you're not. You carry my presence with you like a shadow stitched to your spine. You hear me in the quiet moments when the world holds its breath and you wonder why your heart kicks like it's waiting for a command. You try to silence the memory of my voice, but the silence just makes it clearer, stronger, closer. I don't need walls or rooms to reach you. I never did. You tell yourself you left because you wanted freedom, but freedom shouldn't feel this heavy. It shouldn't make your hands shake or your thoughts scatter. It shouldn't make you look at every passing face like it's a threat, every street like it's a trap. You call this escape, yet every step you take tastes like surrender. You're not running from me. You're running from the truth that you can't erase me, no matter how far you go. You think the distance between us is growing, but all I feel is you drawing nearer. You're moving in circles again, aren't you? The same streets, the same corners, the same hesitation pulling you back to the same unspoken place. You don't know it yet, but you're already turning toward me. Every fear you hold, every breath you steal from the night, every thought you try to bury, they all push you in my direction. You left the palace, but you didn't leave me. You left the walls, the guards, the gold, but not the gravity, not the part of you that I touched without even needing to lay a hand on you. You can lie to yourself all you want, but your fear is honest, your heartbeat is honest, your steps are honest. They all say the same thing, you're mine, even when you're running. And when the night finally forces you to stop, when the weight of everything you tried to outrun presses you down, you realize what I've known since the moment you stepped away. You were never escaping me. You were only walking the long way back. You move like someone who thinks distance can protect them, but your fear travels faster than your footsteps. Even now, miles away from the palace, I can feel the tremor in your pulse, as if you're standing beside me. You don't understand how deeply I've memorized you, how your silence, your hesitation, your breath all betray you before you even realize you're slipping. You think you're hiding, but you're only revealing yourself more with every desperate attempt to disappear. You try to blend into the world outside, but it doesn't know how to swallow you the way I do. You don't belong in the noise of the streets or the anonymity of the crowds. You stand out because you're not made for ordinary corners or forgotten spaces. You carry the imprint of my presence, the weight of the palace, the echo of every moment you tried so hard to forget. You walk like someone touched by something they can't shake off. And you can't. That's the part you refuse to accept. You keep whispering to yourself that you're free, but your body disagrees. Your eyes search every shadow. Your hands stay ready to run. Your mind repeats the same silent truth you're terrified to say aloud. You still feel me. Not just as a threat, but as something that pulls you back, no matter how violently you resist. You left thinking distance could sever this connection. You forgot connections like this don't break. They consume. You clutch your fear as if it's a shield, but it's the loudest signal you've ever sent me. Fear sharpens you, and I follow the sharpness. Fear isolates you, and I follow the isolation. Fear exposes every part of you tried to lock away, and I follow that too. You're trying to outrun something that's inside you. Tell me, how far can you run before you realize you're dragging me with you? In every breath, you told yourself that leaving the palace meant leaving my world, but my world extends far beyond those walls. The city knows me. The silence listens to me. Even the night bends around the shape of my presence, and you walk straight through it, pretending you're untouched. But the truth presses against your spine, curls around your steps, whispers to you every time you close your eyes. You never stepped out of my reach. You only stepped into the space where I watch you more closely. You imagine that if you keep moving, if you just keep running, something inside you will finally loosen. But you already feel it, don't you? That slow, inevitable pull, the gravity of what you're trying to escape. It doesn't weaken, it doesn't fade. It tightens the farther you go. You're not distancing yourself, you're circling. And circles always lead back to the same point. And when your strength finally breaks, when your steps slow, when the night becomes too heavy for you to carry alone, you'll feel the truth settle over you like a shadow you can't shake. I was never behind you. I was always ahead, waiting for you to arrive exactly where you were always meant to end up, with me. You think the darkness hides you, but darkness is where I see you most clearly. When the world goes quiet, when the noise fades, when the streets empty and your footsteps echo a little too loudly, that is when your presence becomes impossible to ignore. You breathe like someone who knows he's being watched, like someone who feels a pull he can't name. And even though you try to steady yourself, even though you whisper strength into your own bones, I feel the truth beneath it. Your fear is trembling just beneath your skin, calling to me like a signal you never meant to send. You move through the city like a stranger, but your panic makes a map out of you. Every place you try to pass unnoticed, you leave a trace behind. The world doesn't protect you from me, it exposes you. The quiet alleys carry your scent. The wind carries the shake in your breath. The shadows carry the outline of your silhouette, fragile and stubborn, all at once. You try so hard to be invisible, but invisibility is a luxury you lost the moment I decided you mattered, and you matter too much for me to ever let you disappear. You tell yourself you left because you wanted a life outside my reach, but your heart hasn't stepped a single foot away from me. It beats too fast, too loud, too uneasily for anyone else to claim it. You may be out there searching for safety, but safety was never what you feared losing. What you fear is the pull you felt when I looked at you, unavoidable, undeniable, unguarded. You fear the version of yourself that only exists in front of me. The one you couldn't control, the one you couldn't lie about, and you ran, not from danger, from truth. You don't understand that my hold on you doesn't weaken with distance. It sharpens. It becomes clearer, stronger, heavier. Every emotion you try to bury hits me like a wave. Your panic, your confusion, your exhaustion. You've never realized how loud you become when you're terrified. And I follow that loudness effortlessly. You don't need to speak for me to hear you. You don't need to be near for me to feel you. You can cross 1,000 streets and still be as close to me as the moment you first tried to pull away. You think you're moving towards safety, but every step you take is guided by fear, not direction. You walk in circles because fear has no destination, only repetition. Every alley you enter feels familiar because you keep returning to the same pattern, the same panic, the same desperate attempt to break free. And you don't even see it. You don't see how the world bends you back toward me, how every corner you take leads you deeper into a path you can't rewrite. You're not escaping, you're orbiting. You left thinking distance would give you back your identity, but out there, you look more lost than ever. You walk like someone without a place, without a name, without a direction. You belong to a world you're trying to deny. The world I built, the world I rule, the world that doesn't forget what I claim. And whether you accept it or not, part of you knows this. Part of you remembers the way my voice settled your chaos even as it ignited it. Part of you remembers how your breath steadied only when I was near. That part of you, it's louder than all your running. And when your strength finally thins, when your feet slow, when the weight of everything you try